Okay. Let me just make sure that we are set. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you all. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it's the 18th of January already. My gosh. Oh, how's everybody doing? Okay. Well, I'm going to settle in just a little bit to make sure that everything here is aligned for us. Hello. Okay, beautiful beings. All right, let's get started. Whew, what a glorious, glorious day. I have been feeling this immense amount of just pure abundance energy. My girlfriend passed her tests in the army. She's so excited. She's going to Ireland next week. She's ecstatic and happy and feeling the love. For those of you who actually don't know, I am doing a Scotland retreat in September and accepting 4 more new souls to come into our beautiful retreat. So I will have my team set up some information in here for you guys so that you can kind of get the gist of what's going on with that so that you guys can also make that decision to show up and come. The Scotland retreat is about really guiding yourself, your intentions, setting up the connection to your ancestral lineage, going towards all the beautiful things. It's going to be amazing. I'm so extremely ecstatic. I have a few more ladies who are coming in here today who are going to be talking to me about it because they're so excited. Scotland brings in the Celtic energies, the ways of the world, and a lot of the pagan history as well too. So if you consider yourself a witch, a shaman, a warlock, whatever, this is one of the trips that I really am so excited to bring forth. And just a little tidbit, we may also be having a beautiful, amazing, glorious woman coming with us who's going to be helping us to serve in the ways of stillness. Now, I am so extremely ecstatic. And hello, welcome, love. Thank you for showing up. Okay, so I want to talk about the 5 main reasons your business is not scaling in your industry. There's so many things I want to talk about when it comes to this. So get a little sidetracked. I love y'all. It happens. So when we're really working towards our business, there's so much of the confusion and the like loss and the fear and all these things that just keeps coming in to a lot of my clients and those who are in my vortex who really try to understand like what is it that they're truly intending when it comes to their business. So I've given you guys the 5 main things that truly pop up, and we're going to go through each and every single one of them. So if you're a business owner or starting a business or beginning your business and you're trying to understand like what routes to go to, how to get there, where to align yourself with, what is it that you need to do, then I suggest you either watch this or replay if you're replaying to really have a basis of understanding, because that is the very foundation and fundamentals when it comes to being a spiritual entrepreneur. There's so many things that we are going to go into with the business section. So give me some time to have a conversation here with you guys. It might go over more than 30 minutes than usual, but I really wanted to get on the basics to help you grow. So if you're not in my vortex as a client, at least this will help you reach a little bit further into your life, into your business, so that you can start moving forward. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about visibility. So some things that you need to come into understanding is that not all visibility is good visibility. I say this very strongly because most of the times when people show up, they show up with no intentions. There's no actual movement to what it is that are actually coming into. So for example, when you're coming into a live or when you're coming into a call or when you're even coming into your post, set your visibility with intentions for yourself. It's not just about the small, tiny little movements, but what is it that you're intending for this post to do? What is it that you're intending for this post to show up in? Or even as a live, or even as, like if you're going on a podcast or something. Visibility is one of the most biggest and most important things. And I think most of us hear it almost everywhere now. And it is very true. We use social media as a way for us to have visibility, but for you to be able to stand out from everyone else, your visibility's intention has to be concrete. And I say this very, very strongly because most of the times people are dancing around on like their TikTok or Facebook or whatever, but there's no intention. There's no absolute intention. When there is intention in the visibility that you are working with, it will help you reach further, more concrete towards the people that you are calling into your vortex. It isn't just about showing up and saying a bunch of words and hoping that people find you. It doesn't work that way. I know for a fact for myself, when I started in my visibility journey, it was very, very scary. I used to go in my PJs. I used to go in my PJs, just being silly and doing all the things. I mean, I'm still like that. I know I am. But I stand in my confidence within, and my intention for these lives is to give my voice, to show up in my voice of who I am, and to really make an impact. That's the visibility intention that I constantly always have. So I want you to ask yourself, what is your visibility intention? Where are you at? And how are you truly showing up? Most of the times, and I'll be very honest with you guys, some of my posts is when I'm coming on live, they get concluded with like my schedule and something happens, my team and I schedule on the wrong time. And then all of a sudden things start to go fuzzy. So then I sat down and I said, what is the intentions of every single moment that I am coming on? I'm coming on with the understanding that I am here to show up for those who are coming in so that I can help them grow. I can help them become who they want to become for themselves. That's what visibility is all about. So if you're coming at me, just teaching me every single thing and not listening and not hearing me as a person who's watching you, as a person who is there. Do you know, every single time I come on, someone always says, Maria, you said the exact same thing that I have been thinking about. Oh my God, you hit the spot. That is what visibility does. Your intentions are set there for a reason. So work with your visibility. Hello, everyone. Welcome. If I'm looking sideways, it's because I have the comments on this side and then my notes in front of me. Another thing as well, too, make sure you have notes when you guys are going live. Really important. I used to just blab on all day. So that's what visibility is all about and how to really move into that. So if you don't have that down pat, then I suggest that you really find out, make practice a thing for you. Practice in front of a mirror, for God's sakes. Don't be afraid to show up, because that fear that keeps coming up, that's workable. That's something that you can work on down the road, but your visibility is majorly important, super important for you to come into. The next thing I'm going to talk about. So I hope the visibility went down pat for you guys. Raise some hands if it did, or just give me some love if you want to. Okay. Messaging. Your messaging has to match your brand. So here's something that I'm going to say. And I say this very strongly because I have done it. I know, I understand. I have been in the confusing world myself, and I am aware of it as well too. Your messaging, if it's not connected to your brand, will not work. You will confuse yourself and those who you are calling into your vortex. And it is very, very important that you understand what your brand is. If you don't know what your brand is, then I suggest you message me and we can get started. My programs help you understand what that means, where you're at, and so on and so forth. Down the road, you can do all that. It's up to you. Your messaging has to not just be about, hi, I'm a Reiki healer. My name is blah, blah, blah. And this is what I do. And this is how I work. And da 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 da. Sounds pretty boring, right? Well, it is. First and foremost, you're not really setting that attraction to your clients. You're not really attracting anyone with just saying, hi, I'm a Reiki healer. Hi, I'm a priestess. I am a shaman. I am this. 90% of the time, they don't even know what that is. Your assumption with your messaging is what's going to kill it. Don't assume that everyone knows what you're doing. Don't ever assume anyone knows what you're doing, period. Because your messaging has to reach out to people who do not understand what it is you do. For example, and I will say this, I have one of my beautiful clients, when she started with me, she used to always just say, hi, I am a tea master or something. And I had one that was saying, hi, I'm a Reiki practitioner. And they couldn't even tell me what that was. No, they could. Now, what I'm saying is they couldn't tell me that in the social media outlets that they were using. If I was a regular human being who was not awakened, what is your brand? That's how you get your messages in. What's your brand? What does shamanism mean? What does priestesshood mean? What does a Reiki practitioner mean? I don't understand. Think of it that way. No one understands. If you think of it to the point that no one gets what you're doing, it's much more easier for your messaging to come through. It is like explaining it to a 3-year-old child. That is how I look at my messages every single time. I literally see my younger self, because I don't have kids, see my younger self, and I go, okay, younger self, what's a witch? Well, first she laughs at me, and then I'm like, okay, I know what a witch is, but how do I explain that? How do I explain ancestral witch? An ancestral witch is a woman who is in her divine power, connecting women to their ancestral lineages so that they can truly understand the connections of Gaia and the stars from within. Sounds pretty good, right? Right? Yeah, that's messaging. So find your message. Find that connection in your message so that you can bring forth more of who you are. If I don't know what, and I'm going to talk about one of my beautiful clients, I hope she's here. I'm not even paying attention, who came to me yesterday, and we were talking about some other things anyways, but the week before, she was telling me about her brand and who she is and blah, blah, blah. And I go, but what is a medium? What's a medium and what's a shaman? Like, tell me what that means to you. That's the messaging that people want to hear. You want to stand out of that crowd. You need to be able to explain to a 3-year-old what your position is and who you are. If you can't even do that yet, you're not ready. You're not ready to step into the roles of what you're doing. And that might sound a little harsh for some of you, but I'm very realistic. When you are not in that space, you need to go deep within and ask within your intentions, what is it that your message truly brings? And then you move forward, and in every single content, is going to make sense, right? So that's what that is. Number 3, my favorite one. Do you know that 92%, and I say this very highly, 92% of spiritual entrepreneurs don't know how to really say their story, or can't, or won't, or refuse to, or they hide from it, or they run from it? If you are wanting me to come to your store, for example, I need to know your story. I don't walk into any random store that is at the mall just because it has these pretty little things in the front. I'm going to use that as an analogy. I want to know your story. Who are you? Why should I trust you with my money? Why should I trust you with my time? Those are the 2 main questions that all spiritual entrepreneurs ask me, because I am here to help guide you into a business that will help you find soulmate clients that don't feel like you have to drag yourself. That's what I do. So what do you do? What's your story? Where were you at? What was that pivoting moment in your life that truly gravitated you into releasing it into the world so that you could start your journey? Most people go, oh yeah, well, I had this tragedy that happened, and I figured I needed to wake up, and then boom. Pretty boring. And I say that strongly. That's boring. I don't trust someone who can't tell me their story. If you can't even sit there and not tell me about the ins and outs of who you are, why would I trust you? So your story needs to be concrete. Your story needs to let me feel who you are. Most people don't get this. They go, oh, well, I'm this, or I'm an astrologer, or I'm a tarot reader. I help people connect with their past. I help people connect with their past loved ones. Why did you get into it? What's that story? It has to be so strong, so powerful, even it makes you cry writing it. And tears are not terrible. They're concrete and they are amazing because they help you release. And every time you talk about that story, it's going to make you cry. And every time you talk about that story, it will bring back memories, because that's a point. You're getting to an emotional state based on giving also a powerful meaning for them to go, holy fucking shit, I want this person in my life. I need to have her as a mentor, as a teacher, as a coach, as a guide, blah, 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 blah. It needs to be powerful. There needs to be strength inside of it for you. If you tear up, as most of you already know, my story is about the lostness of the loss of my son, the abuse and the physical abuse that I received from my ex for years that people didn't even understand, because maybe they have, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I speak from my heart. The constant abuse, emotionally, physically, and mentally, that I received from him was the pivoting points of my life, where I discarded my ancestors to try and please a human who I thought was the person that was going to love me because he paid attention. And then when I lost my son, I went into a state of pure depression and suicidal thoughts. It hurt like hell. And it still does. And that's the beauty of saying your story, is admitting the pains are still there, and admitting who you are, and admitting everything about you. You want to create authenticity in the world. You have to be authentic to yourself with your story. You have to be open to truly acknowledging all the things that you don't like. I was talking to my beautiful client yesterday and she was saying, like, I don't hold grudges. I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and she admitted it too. Sitting there and listening, and I said, but you are holding a grudge. And it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that. And she acknowledged it for herself. And that's the thing. We have the power to acknowledge that emotion inside of us. And when our story gives us those emotional feelings of being in that space and then stepping forth like a fucking phoenix and rising above it, that is beautiful. So beautiful. And that's the story that will gravitate the people with you. This goes hand in hand with number 4, relations with your dream client. You ever heard this term? A lot of people say it. They're like, what's a dream client, Maria? A dream client is someone who is willing, ready, and wants to be in your program, in your vortex, buying your products, being parts of your retreat, so on and so forth. And they're ready. They're ready to step into who you are. They're ready to be in their space. They're ready to amplify their spiritual gifts because you are teaching it. They are ready to step into their business. They are ready to step into their personal and wonderful relationships that they are going to create with people that are surrounding them. That's the relationship of your dream client. Hold on a second, guys. My partner keeps getting at me. He's like, you need to drink more water, which he's not incorrect, actually. Water runs through me like, I'm a Veda and Ayurvedic, and a Vata. Sorry, it's called Vata. So, if you guys don't know what your Ayurvedic signs are within yourself, I can send you a link. Anyways, that was a side note. So, relations with your dream client. So, your dream clients are not going to be in the state of already in that space where they know exactly what they're doing. They're going to be confused. They're going to be lost. They don't know where to go. They are looking for someone to come and help them. They're looking for someone to come and understand them, open up whatever it is that you do with your business. And they are saying, okay, I need help. And then suddenly your wonderful live or your post shows up because they called it out in the universe. And they go, oh my God, that story that they said, that is exactly how I am feeling right now. I just went through all of that and I don't even know what to do. You're getting at a stage, and some people really confuse this with dream clients. They want people to be really into this space and blah, 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 and this and that. But your dream client is looking for that specific assistance that you have gone through in your own life. And that's the relation part. They've gone through this beautiful transformation in some way, shape, or form. They've waken up. They're kind of like, oh my God, now I'm awake. So now they need some place to go. And then you show up in their vortex, or they've been watching you or whatever. And now they're ready. They are ready to step forth. But you know what's the biggest thing that stops them? Fear, scarcity, anxiety. They don't know what to do. They're intentionally reaching out to kind of, yeah, I'm a little hesitant because, maybe I have to do this or this or this. I don't know. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. However, as a leader in your life and as a woman and as a leader that leads people into a space because you want to lead them there, you stand there and you wait and you allow them to process whatever it is that they need to process and say, what can I do to help you grow so that you can step even further into yourself? When people come to me, I get straight to the point. I make quick decisions because that's how I live my life. Everything that happens is a channel through me constantly. I'm literally like an open third eye all day, every day. And most people are like, how do you do that? It's like training, intuition, intention, connection with spirit constantly. It doesn't stop for me. The moment I wake up, spirit's connected. The moment I go to bed, spirit says goodnight. And then sometimes they also connect with me in the astral realms if they really, really need to tell me something, which they do most of the time. And I'm never tired. I'm never tired of it. But the connection to my clients isn't just my story. It's my ability to hold that space and that sacred awareness with them so that they can build into the highest forms of who they are. Just like one of my beautiful clients who serves with a more wonderful tea, she holds stillness and inner peace. She has learned that ability for herself. She knows that ability. She's so in tune with it. And the beautiful part is that took time for her to grow into, just like anyone else. When people come into my vortex, you learn to grow within your own inner magic and you relate to your clientele that come into your world. Then they become your best friends. Then they can become your best friends if you want them to, right? You know, we get into this space that everyone wants to make 6 or 7 or 8 figures and that, but they don't know how to sustain that yet. I will get into that into a different video. But the number 5 situation that usually occurs is people don't know how to close with their client. They don't know how to ask the question. You know, every single time someone comes into my vortex, I ask questions. I'm like, I love that they want to be in part of it, but I want to know, what was it that didn't align yet? What is it that's not moving forward? You have to be able to understand that sometimes, yes, if that is a no-no, it's a no-no. It's a no-no. Sorry, I'm giggling at myself, guys. If it's an absolute no, it's a no for now, but that doesn't mean it's forever. But ask the questions. And sometimes when the clients are ready and it is a yes, and they feel it in their body, and they're like, oh my God, Maria, I just want to work with you. You are so freaking amazing. I need to know what my options are. Let's get started. They're ready because they know that that fear that they had inside of them turned into empowerment. Like, I can do this with the support. I can do this. I'm not scared anymore. No amount of money, no amount of personal situations, and no amount of absolute spiritual growth. Well, spiritual growth has a big thing, will stop them from reaching their determined purpose and their goal for themselves. That's the closing ability. I don't get hung up on it. Most people are like, oh my God, why didn't she say yes to me? Damn it. You guys ever feel that? When you probably have had some people that you've connected with and you're just like, what the heck? Right? But you don't need to feel that. There's no desire to come into that because that's pushiness. We're getting into a space of tranquility. You have to be able to understand how to close in your sales, in your connections with your clients. So for example, you get onto a call with a client. This was one of the most beautiful things one of my clients most of my clients would tell me. They'd have this script. So I got every single one of them. They'd have this script, keep going. Like I get it, like I get pinpoints too, but they would have a script and they would like go through the script. Like that's what they were taught. They were taught in these other programs to go through a script on every single clientele that comes into their call that's a potential client. But the problem with that is There's no intention or true connection to the call. You're paying attention to like, okay, so like blah, 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 blah. Like if you know your programs, if you know what you're doing, if you understand where you are in your business, if you can recite your program's cost and everything else, great. If you don't know how to do that yet, practice the shit out of that. That's important. Dedication to that is awareness. And if people are saying, oh, well, Maria, I was told not to, I'm going to tell you guys, the smoothest transactions are usually the ones where you do remember exactly what the price of your program is and when it starts. Very simple. If you are aware of what it does on transformation, all this beautiful stuff, great. It's beautiful. Know your prices, know your payment plans. Bada bing, bada boom. Seriously. I'm not joking. These are so important. But when you have a script of how to talk to each and every single potential client that you have, throw it out the window. I'm serious. Throw it out the fucking window. Do you know why? Why I say this? 90% of the time, I do say 90% a lot, don't I? 90% of the time, the person that's coming in at you is also interviewing you. You are being interviewed by this person. They want to know, what is it that you do? How do you help people? Where are you at? Blah, 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 blah. Get straight to the point with them. Connect deeper. Feel into the energies. Work on your magic. That's what they came in there to check. How they feel, what they're sensing, who they are when they are with you. Do they feel like they're being heard? Do they feel connected to your soul when you're talking to them? Are you feeling into the deepness of who they are? Or are you just looking at them as some sort of number? That's the biggest mistake most businesses make. Not most people who come into spirituality are not numbers. They are souls. So when you're connecting with a client, throw out your script that says, have to talk about this, transform into that. Every single one of those clienteles are different. They're completely different. Until you get to a stage where you can hire someone to help you gauge into the DMs or gauge into the higher parts, great. Fucking great. But if you're not there yet and you're at this stage right now, I'm going to tell you guys something. It is important, absolutely important, to throw out that script and have an engaging conversation. Don't go like 3 hours into a call. Make your 1 hour sustainable for both of you. And I say take an hour to get to know them because you are also wondering if they're a good fit for you and your program. Be honest with yourself. If you're like, okay, this is feeling a little too much, do I really want this person into my program? You feel into it, you feel that deepest connection. Most people that come into my program will either continue, work towards it, have their stuff, go into their things, do the work, and get the motivation and figure out that something aligns with them differently. I had one of my clients in our group call the other day, and she said, thank you, Maria, for helping me realize that I am important. Our calls would come, I think, every 8:30 or 8 o'clock in the mornings. Our time in Mountain Standard would be like 10 and their time and stuff like that. And so my biggest thing would be, you know, like show up for yourself, be in that space. And that's what I mean. Like people come to you because they're learning something, not just they want to know like how magical they are and like the dragon shows up and blah, 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 blah. They're trying to learn something different. So they're coming to you for that. And in your closing ability, if you can't connect to that on your calls, on your connections in your DM, or whatever it is that you're doing, then that won't work. And just remember, if they say no right now, that doesn't mean it's a no forever. And don't get hung up on it. Really, don't get hung up on it because it's not necessary. If you get hung up on every single person that told you no in your entire life, you'd be stuck, right? You'd be seriously stuck. So work on your ability to remember what it is that you're offering. Number one rule, number five, not number one, number five of a successful, maintainable business, especially in spirituality, remember what you're offering. Ask the questions. Ask the questions prior to your calls. Know and prepare yourself. Don't be like everyone that's like running around with their heads cut off because they can't figure out where they're going. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, flow is amazing. And it's flow and having your head cut off are two different things, though. But when it comes to grounding yourself, getting into a space, understanding what it is that you're doing in your business, it is important for you to get connected. Connection doesn't mean looking at someone as if they're a number or another fucking payday. Connect with the people that you're looking for. You know who they are. You know they've been watching you. You know that they're super interested. So be ready for it. Be ready for that talk, that conversation, and offer that ability. If you are just starting in your business and you are like, I really want to make this wonderful, amazing abundance, great, beautiful connection, helping people move towards their life and getting into a space, learn to connect with each of your call. And if you are a scatterbrain, let's just be honest here. I was like this too. I used to be a scatterbrain in 2020. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, what do I talk to them? Okay, I'm just gonna like figure it out. And I would have like a script, and then that script drove me insane as a person. And it's not a true connection to spirit. It's a disconnection to the person that's in front of you. It's a disconnection to your ancestors. It's a disconnection to their ancestors because I'll just say this very quickly. The way I connect with their ancestors right away first. And then I connect with them because I ask the ancestors, is it okay if I connect with them? And I connect with them and I allow them to just sit and breathe and come into a moment. The one time that my beautiful client, I'm going to talk about her a little bit. I love Ayumi. So she's not here on this group because she tries to really minimize her social media connection. She's usually on a different platform like Twitter or TikTok or something like that. Anyways, so my beautiful client Ayumi, you know, she heard about me from a mutual friend. So she was referred to me. She's been a wonderful, wonderful client. And she just sat there and she goes, I have no idea what I want from you. And so we just sat there and we exchanged energetical frequencies, we connected, and you know, I connected with her Akasha. She kind of got into a space, and then boom, she skyrocketed her business to 6 figures in less than a year. That's amazing. She's been a Reiki master for a really long time. She's had this practice previously, kind of working just like one-on-one in person, a little bit here and there, but she didn't realize how powerful her lineage and her ability to work towards who she is really came through until she started working with me. Another beautiful soul, Leah. I love her. Every time she just comes in, she's like, okay, I want to work with you. You're a witch. And that's what I mean, right? Visibility is your number one. Your clients are already around in your vortex. If you think that you have to have a creation of just your Facebook group, you're sadly mistaken, my loves. There are many, many ways for people to find you. Many ways. They've been watching you for a really long time. You just don't know it yet. And so Closing your abilities is allowing yourself to really set in and actually have those true one-on-one connections, even if it's on a DM. You're voice noting, you're connecting, you're saying, all right, let's feel into this energy together. Where are you in your space? What are you feeling that is really wanting to connect, to grow, to expand into your highest potential? If you can have those kinds of conversations, you will attract your soulmate clients easily. But if you can't, and you're still working with this script, you're going to lose them. And I say this very strongly because I've done it several times myself. I've had clients who've done it several times. I mean, am I perfect? Hell no, I'm not perfect. I don't sit there and cry over it. I just let it go and then move on. And I say, okay, what can I learn to do better? So this is the stuff that I teach in my programs, is how to really engage into that beautiful connection of you and how to truly align your messaging, your visibility, your ability to close, your ability to show up, your ability to come in. I don't see things as excuses. Sorry, guys. A weird tickle in my throat. It's really weird. Strange. Like, who's that from? That's not me. Like, I allow myself to sit there and go, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you're looking for, truly? What are you looking for in yourself to expand and grow into? Hmm? Because a spiritual business entrepreneur isn't just about business, especially a mentor. We're not just there to help you with your business, because we are there to help you with both your personal, your relationships of yourself, and the true connection of your inner growth. There's traumas there, there are things there are stuff that's hiding. We work with that all in all. It's not just about gauging into areas. And I don't want people to get confused with themselves. I got into this space because I truly understand business. I really do. I grew up in it. I basically made millions doing stuff that really got me to where I am. Have I had bumpy roads? Absolutely, I've had bumpy roads. And I'm proud of those bumpy roads because it helped me to elevate even further. So if you're sitting there going, I don't have the finances to invest in anything, BS. I have solutions. My company can work with you to really gauge a minimal ability within at least, some of my clients pay $400, $300 a month, not even. I had a client that's actually paying like $100. And it's possible to work that in. Don't think that your finances are what's stopping you. No, my loves. The fear is the fear of growth, the fear of expansion. One of my clients right now, who's in my Empire Legacy one-on-one full program, that is a 1-year term, where we sit there and we really gauge on getting into her business. Well, we're working on doing something phenomenal with her. We're just waiting to get some access, but we're waiting on some beautiful things. And one of the things that she says to me, she's like, this was the most scariest thing I've ever decided to do and invest in. And I'm fearful. And that honesty, that connection, that drive in every single call we have, she has the most abundant transformation. She has the most exhilarating connection to true self, because what she's going to do to serve others is extraordinary. It's fucking extraordinary, because every single one of you has amazing gifts. And if you're sitting there saying, I don't really have a gift, I'm not that psychic, I'm not this, I'm not, that is mental fear coming through. Every single one of us has gifts. We all do. So if you've been sitting there trying to figure out if you want to come work with us and you're going, oh, I don't know if I want to make that investment, da, 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 da. Guys, I have solutions. It's not about the investment anymore. And I've been so fortunate in my life to be able to offer these amazing things because they truly are wonderful. So if you want to learn more, you want to know more about it, you want to reach out, you want to leave a fucking heart. Okay, make sure you just, when you leave an emoji, be ready because I'm going to message you. Okay, leave a heart emoji if you're ready to step into your, or you know what? Leave me a fire emoji. Light that fire under your butt. If you're ready to step into that, if you're ready to flourish and grow and go into your magic, then leave that fire emoji below in the comments. Myself or my assistant will message you and we will connect and we will grow and we will show you the pathways and I will support you and I will be there to hold on to the energy frequency of growth with you. I've been doing this enough with many people to know what it's like to step into leadership, and then I know you have it too. So enjoy that part. Anywho's, guys, I hope that you have an amazing, wonderful Wednesday. We did put out a post here today. I would love for everyone to just put into their comments, connect, let us know where we can support you, how we can actually help you grow. That's the whole beauty of Wise Women Sisters Collective, is that we're here as a collective to help each other. And if you didn't get a chance to promo your services or your beautiful products or whatever it is, let me know. Just shoot me a DM and I will allow my team to process it through for you guys today. Okay, just today only. So make sure you watch this video, guys. Anyways, guys, mwah, mwah. So much love to you all. I have to go do a spiritual talk for one of my beautiful sisters because she has asked me to come into her vortex to talk about spirituality. So love you all.